this verse shows us that it is acceptable to rejoice in the accomplishments or even in the presence of another. However, that rejoicing needs to be considered in light of the greater rejoicing which comes through Christ, who dwells in that person. Okay? Sometimes, I think the reason why I probably typed that the way I did is because sometimes people will get ultra pious, and that always bothers me. It's like everything gets extended beyond what it should be, and they're trying to make themselves look ultra holy or ultra pious, and that bothers me. If he has done a great job, then I should rejoice in that. And I can say at the same time, he's done a great job. He's a great representative of Christ. Christ is ultimately getting the credit, but there's nothing wrong with complimenting somebody else. But you will find people that will not do that. They will not allow anything to go to the secondary source, and that is contradictory to what Paul is doing right here in this verse. So it's good to include the Lord in all good words and in all good compliments, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with complimenting somebody for having done a good job, or for, like on Sunday, Claudia wasn't in church, shame on her, but she was given a compliment during church because of something that she does when she is here. But when she's not here, she can't do it, so shame on her for not being here. I'm kidding about that part. I'm kidding about the second part, but during church, if you remember, I complimented her about something that she does, and there's nothing wrong with that. And the whole point was that the Lord is glorified through her work, so there's nothing wrong with that. But some people will not do that, and it's an attempt to show how extra holy or pious they are, and all it does to me is it makes them look, I won't say it. Anyway, okay. In other words, I'm going to read that again. We can rejoice. Oh, I didn't read this yet. In other words, we can rejoice in a great preacher of the gospel. However, it is that Christ is in him that the rejoicing finds its fullest sense. Okay, I talk about this somewhere else in something that I read within the past week. Exactly the same premise from something else I wrote. Anyway, the point is that some people get starstruck by a pastor. And they'll go to the church and they'll sit right in the front row of the church, and they'll just sit there and ogle, and they'll, oh, he's the greatest thing in the world, and that's all they talk about. Listen, Jesus commissioned this person, or this person is preaching on behalf of Jesus. It's fine to give the pastor a compliment, but it is to be something that he is in the Lord and he is honoring the Lord. The focus isn't supposed to be especially on that person, but it can be on that person. Okay, however, it is that Christ is in him that the rejoicing finds its fullest sense. The use of the parallel in is thus instructive. In the end, all rejoicing finds its true home in the Lord. In the case of Paul, the Philippian church would receive its joy when he was released to come to them again. And it would be rejoicing in him, Paul, in Christ Jesus. So you have the extra compliment which ultimately goes to the Lord. And if he wasn't in Christ Jesus, then there wouldn't be any need to compliment him or even say anything about him concerning the issue at hand. Life application. Rejoice in the Lord is good. Let's do it today. Okay? That's what we should be doing. Rejoice in the Lord.